Well, good afternoon from Little Creek Bee Ranch. We've got a mess going on here. It's October and it's rainy and everything's changing, and now is when the sawdust flies and we got piles of it on the ground. But I wanted to show you something. What we're doing today is we're making a candy board, and here's a couple of good tips for you. This is probably about 1 3/4 inches, something like that, pretty close. And the bottom of it is a plastic queen excluder. Now, I don't personally like the plastic queen excluders for actually hive operation, but I'll surely use them to make a candy board. And I can just use my air stapler and staple along the sides. It's real easy. The girls can get up and down through there. We've used a couple of propolis screens before and just cut holes in them, but these are big enough the girls can wiggle through. I may go in the middle and just clip out some of these to make it easier, but they're plastic. It's plastic. And we are making about 30 of these on the first set of 20, 24, something like that. And there's the pile that we've cut. And I like taking the end corners, and we'll make them 3/8 in and 3/4 down, and there's only one way it can fit in. It'll fit just like this. So you see, it's a simple fit. Up a little bit of wood glue, tight bond. What tight bond? 3. That's the wood glue. Nothing complicated. A couple of staples in the end, and candy board. I'll lay in wax paper. Can lay in wax paper there, and then what I'll just do is I'll mix up dry sugar with a little bit of Bee Pro powder, dry mix, and just fill it up. Fill it all the way up. These girls are burning through sugar blocks now, so I got a shift. I'm actually behind. And there's, compressor. This is the back end of the garage. This is nothing fancy, a whole mess. I know where everything is. It looks like a mess though. And the plans book, that's a big tip. I would encourage everybody that if you're going to have any kind of bee equipment or cut anything, you need to, look at that dust on there, make up a plans. Just download them offline, and there's a bazillion plans, and all my notes, and keep all my wood cutting plans in there. And those are our plans. Oops, those are the plans for the candy board. That's a good tip. Make you up a plans book. Right now, I think what's important is food stores. We're getting the feeling that this is going to be a rough winter, and we've already got a couple of candy boards on. I'm behind. I can't keep on making up sugar blocks. They're just burning through them. I'm seeing a lot of woolly worms on trees and on the ground. Every time I've seen that, we've had a real rough winter. So I'm shifting, and I'm going to give them overload on the sugar, and we're going to load this up and give it to them, but it needs to be right on top of the brood frames. All the weight of the sugar will flatten this out, and the moisture from even the outside environment and the hive will be sucked up by this dried sugar mix, and it will kind of harden up. It'll crust up and harden up. And let's see kind of what distance we get with that. Whatever you can make on your own certainly saves you a lot of money. There's usually behind the table here is a whole pile, just a whole pile of wood that stays right back there, but we've just cut it all up today, making these candy boards. We'll make a whole bunch more. There's 27 colonies out there, 3 nukes, total of 27, 3 nukes, and we're just feeding the stink out of them to make sure they got candy and sugar, and just keeping them alive. That's your number one concern, is keeping them alive. But you can order from, I ordered these from Man Lake, just plastic queen excluders, and that's all they're going to be used for. And I just staple them down. I don't glue the excluder on, just staple it on, and make my cuts of wood, and off we go. So we'll see what kind of mileage we get from that. Okay, candy boards. That's a big deal. It doesn't have to be complicated. Dry sugar mix, probably 2 gallons of sugar to about a 1/2 pint or a pint of Bee Pro, all mixed up in a bucket, hand mixed in a bucket, dry, and then pour it in on wax paper, and I would mist it with a mister just to create a crust on top, and you're ready to go. That's what we're doing today. So there's the fall time bee project. There's a lot more wood cutting to come, boxes and whatnot, bottom boards. But right now that's the project for today, is about 27, 30 candy boards. That's just part of them. That's not all of them. There we go. Tip for the day. Have an awesome day.